Okay, I would like to create those. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to speed this up. However, if you have any questions, you're free to bring them. And then let's start. Now, the thing is, I'd like to create these tables. Because of the time constraint, I'm not going to create all of these. Just some of them. The ones that are the same data type, I'm just going to take one and leave the rest. No, I'm just going to, just for the sake of this simplicity, but it's the same idea anyways. So now, what I'd like to do is, when I have such a thing, I'm not going to put everything in one place. Now, I will create a database for every set of tables that I would like to create. I'm not going to do like you're doing, which means put all the tables that you did before and add these to them. Now, what you should have done basically is create a new schema for this new database. So I'm going to do the same. So create schema that I'm going to call university, for example. Now for you, you're not allowed to use university unless you put S and then your full ID before. And then you can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to create that and then use it. And then create the new table. But before that, let me just create these two. And now create schema. And it says there's an error message. And what was it? Create schema university. What is wrong with this?
Maybe because the create has
Create has what? No, I'm just. Oh, maybe that's the one. The action is schema. No, I did a mistake because when I did this and I clicked here, it took out the create from the statement, so the action was just schema university, and then there was a problem. So what I should have done is select everything, including this create, and then click on this, then it's fine. Because when you select something, it only executes what you have selected, not the lines that you have selected, but actually what you have selected. So now I'm going to create the table student, and in that student let's have this student number, and let's and do something like this, which is an int, and this is my primary key. And then the other one is SSN, which is an int, and the class sex, well, I'm just going to skip some and just put only those that. Now what do you think about this one? Varchar what?
6.
6?
Yes.
Why 6?
Female.
Okay, what about this?
Oh.
Why are you going to put 6? Why you just put M and S? And it's kind of easy to.
Oh yeah. Maybe if it's asked to be like this.
Well, do you have anything that says that?
Yes, if.
Well, if with if you can put.
Can you use char?
Huh?
Can you use char?
You can use char, but char means it's always going to take the space. Varchar means it's variable, but yeah. Now the birth date as well, there's something that we can talk about, which is a birth date is a date. So you can put a varchar, but it's not going to be helpful to put it as a text. Why? Because if you'd like to ask if a date is between this and that, the text is not going to work the same way as a date. So if it's a date, make it a date. Now there's two types of dates, date and date time. Because there's some maybe data type, there's some kind of columns that you need also to store the hour and the minutes, and also the seconds if you want to, but this is the date time. But if I'm only interested in the date, I just select the date, and that's what I'm doing for this birth date. Then first name, middle initial, last name, street address, city, state, zip, all these are going to be strings. So varchar, whatever, put any value that makes sense. That's fine. The degree program is also varchar, so I'm going to skip it. Yeah. Well, you're right. Zip, it can be, it's a zip code, which is actually, you're right, it's not a text. Yeah, but you know what? It might also be a text because of, well, depending on where you are. Some zip codes, they have like the first set of numbers, a dash, and the second set of numbers. So if it's the case, you have to put it as varchar. If not, you can just put it as an int. That's better. Like the phone, exactly. Same thing like normally the phones, maybe you can have like this between parentheses or something, or you can just store it as a number, but then you have to put the country code. Well, anyway, it depends. So you can put also the phone to be an int, but then you need to store all the country code and everything, so you don't have this to deal with the 0 in the beginning. Okay, and then we have this decode the major and decode minor, which means that this is a foreign key because of this hash key. So decode, now I'm just going to use it, and decode is referring to the department code here. Okay, so I'm just going to make d major to be what's data type? Probably an int, because we don't have any information, so all our codes are going to be ints. And this is also int. Okay, what else? That's it. Now I need to just create the constraint for the constraint, a foreign key constraint from student to department, and it's a foreign key that mentions this one that references department, but I don't have department yet, and it's called decode. Now this is the first foreign key. Copy and paste the second foreign key, remove this, just zoom out so you can see things. I can also hide these things because I don't need them, and I can zoom in more so I can see more. I can bring them back by just clicking here, so they're going to come back if I need to. Okay, and then this here is the department code as a minor, and do this. Now I will not run this because it doesn't make sense to run this, because the table student needs the table department to be existing first so I can connect to it, but it's not there, so I need to create the table department because it is needed by the student. So before I create this student, I need now to put the code for the department. And for the department, we said we have like decode, dname, college, the office, the phone number. So all these are probably just, as we mentioned, like int or for this dphone or varchar. So I'm just going to put the dname, and that's it for the sake of the time. So I'm going to put decode, which is an int. And this is one of the mistakes that we can see, that if you don't pay attention and put a different data type here, you cannot make it a foreign key. So it's not only the data type, it's also the size. So if you put, for example, this to be 5, because you would like the code to be, okay, 5 numbers and 5 digits are enough, and then you put something to be just int, because if you put int, by default it will be 11. That's what MySQL is going to put. So which means now this is going to be 11, this is going to be 5. If you'd like to run this, it will not work, because they don't have the same now data type and size. So it's absolutely necessary that you have the same data type and size. And also there's one thing, if you just do this without making it a primary key, it's a problem, because you cannot connect to another table, another column from another table if it's not a primary key. So it has to be primary key. And the last one was, let's put dname, for example. And dname for us is going to be varchar, let's say 50. And that's now, we can create now these two tables. Nothing is going to be a problem, so let's create them. Select, and then execute. And you can see that it went right. This one did not want good, because it says duplicate key name, F key student department. And I made a problem, you see. I forgot to change the names. So what I'm going to do, this is major. I don't use 1 and 2 because it makes more sense for me to know which one is which by putting the name. So if I'd like to delete one of those, it will be easier for me than trying to put what is 1, what is 2. So I'm going to then select this one and run it again. And now it's correct. Let's move on. Now we have the course, which is CNAME and CNAME, and then put, for example, the department code. And the course is going to be having department code as a major, so as some kind of foreign key. So I'm going to copy this one. And this is the course, and it's the course number is CNAME. And then what do we need to have? I mean, one of them is going to be the decode, right? It says decode, so I'm going to put decode here and delete the other one. And here I don't need the two of them. I delete this one, and then this is decode. It's going to be connected to course decode, and now it's not student to department, but it's course to department. And it should reference not course but department. So yeah, you're right, I made a mistake. Now I can put also the dname, because there was a dname as well, and put a comma, and I'm done with this. Okay, so let's create this again. Everything is fine. Let's continue. The section is interesting because it has a very long set of primary key. All these are primary keys, so all these are part of the primary key. So we have, first of all, the CNAME, which is a foreign key. So I'm going to copy this again, paste. This is a section, and I'm going to put the CNAME, which is it's not a primary key because there are many that are primary keys. I mean, they're part of the primary key. However, I'm going to keep this to be CNAME, and this is from section to course. So from section to course, so this is going to be course, and the same name, CNAME. Now, okay, this is my reflex kicking in, and then I have the section number, semester, year, and then instructor. So let's just remove these so don't get confused. I have the section number. We'll just take a copy so I don't mess up the name. Section number, which should be an int, and then the semester, another int, and then the year, another int. But the year I cannot use it because it's like some kind of keyword, so I need to use this weird looking code, single code. Now, once I have done that, I have the instructor, which is going to be a varchar. Let's put this to be 100, whatever. And then now I need to put the primary key. The primary key is going to be CNAME, semester number, semester, section number, then semester, then year. I copy them all, and then I'm going just to remove the data types, just the data types, because I need the commas. And then, yes, and then the last one is the year, and a comma, and I think I'm done. So I have now all these. This is a foreign key. I have this for the foreign key. Primary key is CNAME section, this 4 in the primary key, so it's there, and everything is all right. Yes.
This order make a difference?
Order of the primary keys?
Yes, no, because I put the constraints.
No, it doesn't matter. For these two, no, it doesn't matter. They just have to be there. But it's like, again, if you remember, I said if you're doing this in the standard way all the time, you're less likely to make a mistake. Now, if you don't put this primary key first, for example, you might forget about it, and this might create some problems later on. That okay, what happens, etc. And that's why. Now I have grade, which is a table that doesn't have a lot of things. I'm going to copy this one to make this grade. So the numeric grade is, well, the numeric grade is going to be in the primary key, and the letter grade is the varchar, and that's all we need. And that's it. So this is the grade. Again, let me just run these two, section and grade. Let's run this. Okay. The other one, the course has been executed. Yes. So what is remaining now is this student section, which has a lot of fun there. So let's create that table. Now, because I copied. So this is the name of the table. Now student number is coming from student. I'm just going to copy things from these tables. So student number, I'm just copying. Why? Because I don't want to make a mistake on the data type, because I would like to use the same data type. So I'm doing this. So student number, it's int, and then in the table name. Yes, of course, I forgot. Yeah, because this is not acceptable. If I'd like to have it, I need to put this single quote, this weird single quote. Now, yeah, we have the CNUM. Let's just do the CNUM. I know what. Later on, I'm going to copy the rest. Also the constraints. So it's not a primary key here. And then what else? We have the section number. Well, basically the section number is all of these. They're going to be used. Sorry about that. Okay, the CNUM, the section number, semester, and then year. Semester, and then year. And then we have the numeric grade, the one that's from here. And that's it. And then all of these we have some kind of foreign keys, right? So what I'm going to do first is that I already have this foreign key, but before the foreign key, I need to not forget to make the primary key. I just said that I always try to keep things in a I'm waiting for this. Okay, primary key, and then I have to put this all. But you know what? I'm going to copy this because it has most of what I need. And then student number, it's going to be here. And then the last one is the numeric grade. It's going to be here. And just I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this order. Just make sure the order is the same. Semester, year, numeric grade. Yeah. Now the constraints. So let's put with the first one, the student number. It comes from. So now I have student section. So I'm going to cut SS or because I was lazy just to put, but I'm going not to stop being lazy. Stud slash dash section. And obviously I need also to put this thing here because of that. So it's from here to the student. So the foreign key is this, and it references the same in student. Copy, paste. Now this one is the course number, so to course, which is this one, CNUM from course, and has the same name. And that's one advantage when you're using the same name of the columns in both. It's kind of easy for you to not get confused first and then not miss anything. This is section number. So the section number is here. It references the section number. And I need to put this to be section. And then which one now is the semester? While the semester now, it is a section, right?
So we have to rename the.
So let's call this section name, section number, and this is section number. What is this? Yeah, section num. It's semester now. Yeah, this one is semester. And then semester, and this is also from the section.
Yeah.
And then also the year. Yeah. This one, just to be consistent, I'm going to put the year capital because I started with capital letters. And then this is year, but again I have to put this weird thing. And then that reference section, year. And then we have the numeric grade. We don't need this last one, so the numeric grade is going to be numeric grade in the grade, right? That references this to be But I did something wrong here. Okay, I'll fix that. Yeah, I'll fix that. So I'm going to put this. It's from grade. Yeah. So here it's not like this. It should be actually this one, student section, and this is like this. So from student section to course, from student section to section, and this section, and this from to section to the grade. And this is just numeric grade, reference to this one, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's just finish this one and run it. I think we run the grade too. Yes, we did run the grade. So this is the last one that is remaining, and we have a problem. And what is the problem? You have all the same problem?
Yes. Yes.
All of you?
Yes.
We didn't close
With what?
we didn't close the bracket.
No, this is closed. Okay, see, now it doesn't tell us what's the problem, so it just says cannot add. So no, there's some other things. No, it's not about the arrangement of these. There's another problem, and I would like to talk about it later because I just realized we don't have a lot of time left for our assignment. So let's talk about this later. At least we have something to stop with. And now I'm going to save this, give it like, call it university, week 6 university. And let's stop here.